So, what if I told you that nearly half of your day is run by this hidden script you didn't even write? Well, we're about to uncover the science behind our habits and show you how to become the editor of your own life.
I mean, think about your morning. You automatically reach for your phone, you brew the coffee on pure instinct. These aren't just little quirks, right? They're proof that there's a really powerful force at play. It can feel like we're just passengers, can it? But what if you could take the wheel? That's exactly what we're here to do. By the end of this, you are going to have the blueprint to go from being a passenger to the pilot of your own actions.
So here's how we're going to get there. First, we'll look at why your brain just loves autopilot. Then, we'll unlock the powerful loop that drives all your habits. We'll reveal its 3-step secret, give you the golden rule to change pretty much anything, and finally, hand you the keys so you can become the architect of your own life.
Okay, let's start with that autopilot mode. Why does our brain do this? Well, the answer is all about a fundamental and honestly a brilliant drive for efficiency.
Think about it. Tying your shoes, driving to work. You don't consciously think through every single step. See, deep inside your brain, this little structure called the basal ganglia has basically offloaded all these tasks into automatic routines. Why? To save precious mental energy. It's an incredibly efficient system, but it's got one major blind spot. It doesn't know the difference between a good routine and a bad one.
So just how much of our life is automated? Get this, research says it's a staggering 40%. No, that's not a typo. 40% of the things you do every single day are not conscious decisions, they're habits. That means nearly half your day is guided by scripts you might not even know are there.
Okay, so if we're on autopilot, how do we grab the controls? The key is to understand the engine that's running the show, and it all boils down to one simple but incredibly powerful concept.
It's called the habit loop. And this isn't some abstract theory, you know? It's a hardwired process in your brain at the core of every single habit you have, from biting your nails to going to the gym. And the moment you can see this loop, that's when you get the power to change it.
So what's this 3-step secret? It's so simple, it's almost beautiful. A cue, a routine, and a reward. Let's break each one down.
It all kicks off with the cue. This is the trigger that tells your brain, okay, time to go on autopilot. So what's your cue to check your phone? Is it that little notification buzz, or is it just a moment of boredom? That feeling, that sound, that's the cue, and it's launching the habit.
And that cue immediately triggers the routine. This is the action itself, the part we usually think of as the whole habit. In our example, it's the physical act of grabbing your phone and opening an app. It's the most obvious part of the loop, for sure, but it's actually not the most powerful. Because what really drives this whole loop isn't the action, it's the anticipation. Your brain learns to crave the reward before you even do anything. It's this neurological craving, this powerful itch for the payoff that makes the habit loop so compelling and, yeah, so hard to break.
And then, finally, you get the reward. With your phone, maybe it's a little jolt of novelty or a feeling of connection. That payoff sends a really strong signal back to your brain that says, hey, that was good. Let's remember this pattern and do it again. And that is how the loop gets stronger and more automatic every single time.
And there you have it. The cue triggers the routine, which gets you a reward, which then reinforces that craving and locks in the loop for next time. This simple little cycle is the hidden architecture behind almost everything you do. Okay, so we've taken the habit apart. Now let's talk about how to rewrite it. This is where the theory becomes your own personal toolkit for change.
It's called the golden rule of habit change, and it's actually surprisingly simple. You don't get rid of the cue, and you don't deny the reward your brain wants. You just swap out one piece in the middle, the routine.
Let's use a classic example. The cue is that 3 p.m. energy slump at work. Your old routine is to grab a cookie, but the reward you're really craving isn't just the sugar, it's the distraction, right? A quick break. So using the golden rule, you keep the cue. It's still 3 p.m. You keep the reward. You still get that break. But you change the routine. Instead of the cookie, you chat with a coworker for 5 minutes. You get a social energy boost and a mental reset. You get the same reward, just with a new, better routine. See how that works?
And this is what this all leads to. It's about moving past the theory and actually becoming the architect of your own habits.
Here is the big takeaway. Once you can see the loop, you are no longer just a passenger. You have the power to consciously design your habits to actually serve your goals.
So what's the game plan? First, you gotta identify the loop. What's the cue? And what's the hidden reward you're really craving? Then, using the golden rule as your master key, you just swap in a new routine that delivers that exact same reward.
That's the formula.
So I'll leave you with this. You have the blueprint now. You are the architect. Think about one habit, just one, that you'd love to change. What's its loop, and what new routine could you build in its place? So the question is, what one loop will you redesign first?